regardless of the situation. And so we're trying to fix all the problems with sort of an antiquated technology that's been around since the 90s. It's got a lot of issues. We're trying to fix them all. And so we're a small startup out of the Research Triangle Park, North Carolina area. And we started about a little over 2 years ago. And we've developed our dry powder formulation. We've got all of our partners on board, and we just did our first human trial, a small pilot study with 12 patients, healthy volunteers. It's the best part about our route of administration and our studies is epinephrine, for example, is well known. People know what it does, how it works, what to look out for in terms of safety. And so we just have to show that we can deliver the same amount of drug through the nose as it's currently delivered through the leg. And so just trying to make things much more easy, less complicated, and trying to expand access to medicine. So right now, these things cost, $800 for 2 of them, and they sell them as a twin pack, which is really expensive. And so sometimes even if you have a peanut allergy or shellfish allergy, you're not even going to get it filled, right? You might get a script from your doc and you say, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to take the risk, or it's too big, or you're going to the beach and it's going to go bad. You don't have it with you. So we thought if you can have something like our product, and we call this Nasdepi, nasal dry powder epis, where the name came from. If you could do something like what we're doing, now all of a sudden, instead of it being a U.S. only product, we can expand access to epinephrine around the world, right? So if the pharmacoeconomics get a little better, right? So this only lasts about a year. You got to get a new one. Our product is going to last at least 2 years, maybe longer. So now you're buying one of these, but now it lasts for 2 years. And like you said, with the planet getting warmer and warmer, if you need to have this with you at all times, you need to be able to have a product that it's 100 degrees outside. You're at a sporting event, you're at the beach, etc. You want to have it with you. You want to be comfortable taking it with you and know that it's going to work if you need it.
This is what the thought was, where the need came from, what the gap was, what the process was, how you develop products to fill that need in comparison to the actual EpiPen and so forth. You answered beautifully. Very interesting. Is there? How did this actually start in terms of yourself as CEO? Was it something personal? Was it just something you saw in the market? Does this come from a background of similar type of technology? Just talk me through that quickly.
Yeah. So there was a guy that really was the idea behind this. His brother was an allergist. So he ran a big facility up in Pennsylvania, and he had this idea of trying to fix the EpiPen way back when. The key was he wasn't a pharmaceutical guy. And so he knew that this was something he wanted to do. I got connected with him sort of later on. And my background, I started at a company called Amgen out in California back in the early 2000s. And one of the things they brought me in to do was try to spray dry. Spray dry is a process where you take a liquid medicine and turn it into powder, trying to increase the stability. And we were doing that back in the early 2000s. And so my background fits with what needed to be done. I just came into the process later on and sort of took over, and we've been running with it. So.
Okay, great. And in terms of the team, so the company structure and so forth, who's within the company, who's permanent staff, product developers? Talk me through that, even marketing, the actual.
Yeah. So it's a really streamlined approach. So we don't have a lot of folks full time, right? So it's really 3 of us at this point. It's myself. We've got a COO and a CFO, and then the rest of the team are all the functional experts that you would guess would work at a pharmaceutical company. So we've got a toxicologist consultant, a PK person, a clinical person, stats, you name it. All the different functions are there, but we don't have them full time. We turn them on, we turn them off. It's sort of this model around rent versus buy.
Sure.
So we try to keep ourselves streamlined, keep our capital structure down. Our plan is to try to get this product approved by the FDA um, with a much less capital needs than you would for a traditional. Most pharmaceutical products, a new pharmaceutical product takes 15 years to get done, costs $1 billion to develop.
Okay.
We're talking 3 years and $20 million, and it's
Okay.
really around the efficacy and the safety are known. We're just switching the route of administration.
Smart. So working, no, no, working smart, not harder, but being agile about it. Which brings me to my next question in terms of the other sort of human capital and skill sets, and the kind of people that you might need and use to plug and play those gaps. So if we now start talking about route to market, marketing, biz dev, sales, distribution, HR, even legal potentially. Is that the same sort of approach over there? I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And where have those real problem areas been? Has it been more legal? Has it been more marketing? Has it been more operations? What does that picture look like?
Yeah, it's interesting you touch on that. So a lot of
Mm,
companies end up that try to do this sort of shorter development route, lower
mm,
cost of capital, or not cost of capital, but capital needs, end up raising too much money, and they end up burdening themselves because now if they could do a deal, the deal doesn't make sense because they've raised so much money, and that's what you see in this space. And so then they have to sort of launch the product themselves. Now they've got to build a commercial organization and a sales team. We don't want to do that. And so we're working with outside sort of pharmaceutical consulting groups to build out that go-to-market strategy. Not because we're going to go to market ourselves. Our plan is to license this product to somebody that's got all of the skill sets needed to get this on formulary so that patients can get access to it. We don't want to get a product approved and then patients can't get it. So we want to license with somebody to help that process. And so that's why we, by keeping the team small, keeping it nimble, we've got, outside counsel. My CFO happens to have a law degree, so he sort of plays that general counsel role as well. So, it's sort of, the analogy around sports is, I don't know what you happen to play, but there's people that are specialized as maybe a defender on a soccer team. You might have as somebody that is a more of an athlete that can play almost anywhere on the field. That's what we like to think of our skill set is we're not functionally deep. We're more on the athlete side, so we know enough about law and all the different functional areas to get the job done.
So answer your question would be rugby, and then it would be boxing. So a single man sport, owning it.
There
Or a
you go.
team,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. But a team sport, I mean, I totally get that. Those, uh, being able to play all the positions because you can do that. Just highly skilled. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
If we were to talk about seeing that we're in the second month of the year, where you are in terms of the milestones, how you're pushing forward towards the end of the year, who are the people that you need now, today, tomorrow, next week, at the end of the month? Who do you need to plug and play? Highly skilled individuals come in and do those short bursts of time to make a big impact. Who are those people?
Yeah, I mean, so we need somebody that's an expert in corporate development or business development. So that'll be trying to find that partner that can take
Yeah.
this and commercialize it globally. Those guys or gals or whoever that really know how to do pharma deals and understand, how best to structure them, who best to reach out to. They have the contacts. That's what we need. We're going to be doing a big clinical plan. Like I said, all of the studies we do, because efficacy and safety are known, are in healthy volunteers, so it's not as complicated as you would normally think of in a pharma situation. But we need people that know how to run those clinical trials, come in and and get those things done. And then a little bit of, we're outsourced, right? So we don't have brick and mortar. You can see I'm in my home office, and because of that, all of the work that gets done for Belhaven is done at third-party vendors. So we have to manage those vendors, and so that means that there's got to be quality people, operational people. So we're looking for folks that know how to do that and to supplement that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to answer the question. No, that's great. That's great. So obviously they need to come in and be senior skill people as it is to kind of do that with that background experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Makes sense. And then what is
That's right.
in terms of milestones? I mean, you have touched on it. You've kind of spoken about what the job is that needs to be done. In terms of using the people and the needs that are just sort of like highlighted now, what's the next milestone? What's happening in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, or is it chunks of a period of a year?
Yeah, so the next big milestone will be we're raising a Series A round right now. So we've done 3 different seed rounds. It's been a rough 2 years. So we've sort of survived off of angel investors. So these are folks that generally know what we're trying to do. They see that this is a huge, pain in the what, and they want to see an alternative make it to the market. So this is pharma people, med tech people, physicians, et cetera. But now we need some more what I would consider institutional investment. And so we're going to try to get that done by the end of the second quarter. So if anybody would know of, folks that like to invest in these types of programs, there's sort of what I would say is, I call it pharma light. It's not pharma, it's pharma light. It's shorter term. We should have a deal in about a year and a half. The capital is not going to be tied up for very long. The risk is a lot lower than a pharma. We've already got clinical data that shows that we're equivalent in a pilot study. So, and we don't need much. I mean, we need another 15 million, which isn't much for pharma. And in a year, that 15 million could be, it's at least 3x, if not higher, depending on the deal size.
No, that's not.
So it's a pretty good.
No. Let me get my phone. Hold on. I'll PayPal you.
Right?
No, it makes sense, and the deal structure is very interesting because you can get people involved that can come in and play that hard game and make it turn pretty quickly. So if we talk about other investment type skill sets that are, those kind of like fintech people and finance people, you know what I mean? They're going to be able to go and structure those deals and go after that money. Which is something that is always very interesting because everyone that goes through Series A, Series B, that is always cumbersome and difficult sometimes, depending on where you are with that trajectory. And some people don't know how long it's going to take. So the mere fact you've got those timelines in place, people can come in and play pretty hard. And it's something that's very interesting in the community as well, where you're going to be building towards peer-to-peer lending and all that sort of stuff as well. So absolutely, it would be very interesting. I mean, if I said to you, besides the skill sets, those C-level suites, managerial, highly skilled individuals, would you love to hear from people in the community that would love to pitch you on their background and abilities to go and raise funding, to go and XYZ? I mean, would you? Oh yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah, that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. I think that's quite good.
No, exactly. I mean, anybody that, like I said, we don't, we've got some pretty unique skill sets that are needed. But if I think people, if they hear what we're doing, they'll know whether they fit the bill, and could potentially help out.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Pharma and tech have got such a similarity. You're in it, and if you're in it, you know the game. You know what I mean? So, and it does make sense. And I know there are people that are in that industry. That's really interesting. Great. Is there anything else you would like to just tell us about in terms of if people want to go and read more about the product, websites, LinkedIn, can we reach out to you, on your company page and so? Let's talk about a few of those.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, we've got there's belhavenbio.com. They can go there and get in contact with us there. Look at my LinkedIn. There's a Belhaven Biopharma LinkedIn page.
Cool.
We've started, I don't know how often you see this, but we sort of were in stealth mode until our patents were issued. So now our patents are now issued, and we've sort of come out of our shell in the last 6 months. So we've had 2 press releases in the last 3 months. We added board members. We finished this last round. We're just got clinical trial data. So we're picking up our game and making ourselves known. So happy for people to reach out.
That momentum and speed is starting to build now, which is really interesting. You just mentioned press releases going out and so forth. PR heavy outreach kind of individuals as well. Would that be of interest? Because getting the story out there, managing the story and all that. I think people need to know what, not just about the product, but what the actual need is, what it's solving, why it's been developed this way, and why it's interesting, and then understanding how that story is being pushed out to the right people.
Yeah, and there's quite a few famous folks, whether that's in sports or movies, TV, that are impacted by food allergies, peanuts, shellfish. And so if anybody knows any of these people that would like to get involved, just to increase awareness, we'd be happy to get connected with them. You'd be surprised. People everywhere from Serena Williams to Drew Brees, to fame, Ariana Grande, for example. You'd be shocked at how many people have to deal with, toting around these clunky EpiPens and going to the pharmacy and getting a new one all the time and throwing them away and wondering whether it's still good or not because it was in the car and it got too hot, right? Let's just fix the problem and get people a better solution.
No, it's great. In terms of allergens, my main allergen is bee stings, and so that's about it. But I know people that are highly, highly allergic to peanut allergies. And, just being in the vicinity of it, or whatever the case is, that's a hospital visit. So, it makes sense. Or influence, what's it called? Influence campaign can be quite interesting as well. To do that. Great. Well, Scott, any closing thoughts or final remarks or anything else that would be of interest of us to know? And you can actually, that's quite nice to introduce you to the community, get those people reaching out to you and so forth.
Yeah, no, this has been great. Like I said, you never know what's going to come from talking to your followers. Like I said, you just never know what's going to happen. Serendipity is a crazy thing, and we'll see what happens. So I appreciate the opportunity.
That having that mindset is I think really important, and just taking the shots, because I've seen these sort of conversations with founders, especially in product based, not just SaaS and tech itself, product based. And then these conversations happen, and you reaching hundreds of thousands of people on the different platforms, specifically within Hustlewing, and you'd be very surprised the right person hears it at the right time, and there's magic.
Yep.
So thank you for your time, and thank you for the story.
That's right.
And fascinating to hear about the product, and I wish you the best of luck with it. And I think we're going to do some good work together. Yeah, we're going to get to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Glenn.
Absolutely. Have a lovely day, and we'll speak to you soon. I will drop you an email with all the information, logins. We'll edit this in post, and we'll introduce you to the community. And any questions you've got, reach out to us. But you'll hear from me probably in the next 24 hours or so.
Okay.
Great.
Sounds great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
My absolute pleasure. Have a good one. Thank you. Cheers.
All righty. You too. Bye-bye.